everyone, welcome to Creative Stampin' Designs. My name is Karen. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Central New Jersey. And we're going to make a fun fold today. I'm using some new products. I'm using some of the new online exclusive products that will be coming on November 7th. I'm actually using just about the whole, oh, I got a glare again, the whole suite. Hello, how are you, Donna? All right, so I'm using the Garden Meadow stamp set and the dies. I did a lot of and the DSP, the Meandering Meadows DSP. I did a lot of the prep work ahead of time because I want to show you how to cut the DSP for this card. Hi, Joan. Thank you for joining. Okay, just a couple little announcements. First of all, free shipping ends today. It ends tonight at 11:59 Mountain Time. So if you haven't gotten your orders in yet, this is a great time to stock up. So orders of $75 or more, you get free shipping. I already have mine just about ready. I'm going to send it later on this afternoon. So great time to stock up on anything, certain things you need for holiday cards. And if you are one of my customers, I have another little special going on, and that ends today also. Hi, Arlene. Thanks for joining. If you place an order of $75 or more, I am going to also let you pick a free adhesive to help you out with those holiday cards. And if I'm missing any comments, I'm sorry. I still have trouble following comments. The other thing is we have the 35th anniversary special for Stampin' Up! The joining special. Carol, thanks for joining. This is a really great deal. You can either take 35% off your kit, so you would get $125 worth of product for $64.35, and it ships for free. Or you can get an additional 35% of product, which would be $168.75 of product for just $99, and it ships for free. Then Stampin' Up! Is automatically going to register you for the On Stage at Home, which is our Stampin' Up! Convention, and it is virtual this year. It's in November, and that's a $77 value. So, and I did a little bit of figuring that if you wanted, I can show you the online exclusive stuff. If you want to add that to your starter kit, you can. And if you were to take the 35% off, and you add the Meandering Meadows suite, which is I believe it's $82.50. You still have another $42.50 to spend if you were to take the 35% off. If you wanted additional 35%, you can get both the items that are the online exclusive pre-order right now, which is the Meandering Meadows suite and the Fluffiest Friends bundle. And then with that one, you will still have an additional $32.25 to spend. So it's a good deal. Plus, then with your first order, you can order the Be Mine suite, which is what they are going to be showing at On Stage. All right, so that's the online exclusive. So I already told you all those. And then I think there's just one last thing. We still have all the DSPs, the online exclusive DSPs that are available. There's 5 different ones. And today started the new Warm Wishes paper pumpkin. And there's an add-on, which is a pack of cards, 20 card bases and envelopes. And I don't know if you can see the cards, but they look really pretty. I actually have them on my order to go in tonight. But the paper pumpkin, it's little gift boxes that are like 4¼ by 4½ by 1½ inch. And then the cards are an add-on. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me at creativestampindesigns@gmail.com, and I'll try to help you with anything you need help with. Okay, let's get started here. Hey, Barbara. Oh, wow. Okay, Arlene. Well, thank you for joining, Joan. All right, so I have a panel of, we're making a bay window card. I have a panel of Orchid Oasis, which is 4¼ by 11. And I already pre-scored it at, let's see if I remember all this. Actually, I'm going to cheat. It's scored at 1/4 inch, 1½, 3¼ 4½, and 5½. All these measurements will be on my blog on Friday, creativestampindesigns.com. They will all be there Friday for you. Okay, so we're going to start by folding it in half, and I'm just going to fold this panel, the first one, back. And I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive in here for this to stay together. And then that'll have a little bit to dry while I'm working on everything else. There we go. So then this one will be a mountain fold. This one, I want to make sure that's staying close, will be a mountain fold. And this one's going to be a valley fold, because this is going to slip under the piece that we put here. I'm just going to flatten that. It'll slip under the piece that we put there for to make it into the window. So it's going to end up like this. So it'll be like that. Okay? So that was the easy part. I want to show you how to cut the paper. I did not cut it at all today. So I have a panel of the Meadows DSP. And when I picked it, I needed to pick a pattern because I have to cut 2 inches off of it. So I wanted more down here, so I'm cutting from the sky. So my panel needs to be 4 inches. So we're going to cut the top off. And it needs to be 5 inches. So I was back and forth. I wasn't sure which way to go. And I'm still not sure which way to go. I think I'm going to leave. You know what? I'm going to cut a little bit from each side. So I'll cut a 1/2 inch off this side. And I'll cut a 1/2 inch off this side. Like I said, because I couldn't decide which way. I wanted to make sure the path was there. I wanted part of the tree there. All right, so what you're going to do, I better have my measurements just in case. Don't want to make a mistake. This would not be a good time to make a mistake. All right, so I'm going to cut not one, see, I almost messed up already. 7/8 of an inch from this side. And now I'm really not looking at comments. I'm going to have to go back. And then I'm also going to cut 7/8 of an inch from this side. Okay, we'll just put those up there. Now we're going to cut at the 1 inch mark from the right side. And you could do, it doesn't matter which way you go. I just like to go back and forth. And then we're going to cut at the 1-inch mark from the left side. And I better not have made a mistake. Yep, perfect. And that leaves me 1 5/8 inch. No, 1 3/8. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Hang on. Okay, I did something. All right, hang on. Bear with me here. I just need to find that same pattern. I know exactly what I did. So we're starting again. Cutting 4 inches. And then we're going to cut a 1/2 inch off each side. It has to be, it's a 4 by 5 inch piece, except I was cutting the measurements of the mats. So now let's do this again. So we need 3/4 of an inch, not 7/8. 7/8 is the size of the mat. So 3/4 from the right and 3/4 from the left. And then, well, the 1-inch piece was right. The 1 inch from the right. And 1 inch from the left, and that leaves me 1 1/2 for the center. There, now I got it right. Sorry about that. That's the only disadvantage of doing it, cutting it live. Okay, so now you're going to just build your puzzle. So those are the pieces. And I have pieces of bubble bath cardstock for the mat. And I was going with colors that were in the DSP. So, and I really wanted to use the Orchid Oasis, and I'm not playing with the Stampin' Seal right now. I'm just going to use liquid glue, because then I know I have that little bit of wiggle room, so if I don't get it on even. Okay. And again, all these measurements, correct measurements, will be on my blog, because what I cut were the size of the mats that I had instead of, well, the first one was the size of the mat, which was 7/8 of an inch. And that threw my whole thing off. Sorry, I'm concentrating here. I want to make sure these are all the right size. Don't want to mess up another. Actually, the other piece, what I'll do is I'll take that and I'll use it for another card. I'll just change the size of the mats, because I'm not going to throw it away. There we go. All right, now we can adhere them onto the card base, and I'm keeping them in the order, even though I mean, this is a pretty easy puzzle to put together. Whoops. Okay, so we're going to take the 1-inch piece, and that's going to go on the, whoops, make sure I'm in the camera at least, on the left side that I had already glued down. And I do not pop any of these up. I leave them all flat. This one will get popped up, the end one, because I need it to be raised a little bit for the piece to go under. This paper is gorgeous. And this will be part of the online exclusives, with which will be available starting November 7th. If you are a demonstrator, some of you may have ordered it already. I've been having fun playing with the set, the paper, everything. Okay, then this one here, we're gonna, I almost used glue. That would not have been good. That's my pokey tool. So I can put this one down ahead of time. Let's see which, make sure putting it the right way. Okay, so I want the dimensionals. I'm going to put other dimensionals, but I want the ones here along the edge. I'm just going to use these last two little this little partial piece up. So this will be along the edge of the card. And then I'm just going to put a couple in between just to hold it, because I don't want it going anywhere. But I don't want to put them to the edge because we need a spot for that to go into. So we're just going to, I'll put 3. Oops. Okay. Get my last one off. There we go. So we're going to put this one right here. I'm just going to look real quick if there's any questions. Oh, hi, Carol. Got some of my team members here. Rosie, thank you for joining. And Debbie, thank you for joining. And Patricia, thank you very much. This will slip, oops, as I'm pushing it down, just like that. So there you go. It's like a little bay window. Okay, so we're going to decorate it a little bit. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to use of this stuff, but I already stamped it, colored it, punched, die cut it, because I wasn't sure what was going to fit, how it was going to fit, and I don't want to put my wheelbarrow, because if I put the wheelbarrow, it's going to block too much. So we're just going to put a couple little things. Maybe not. I really don't like blocking the paper. All right. We'll put the little garden tools over here. And I think I'm just going to put the sentiment there, and this is going to be a lot easier than I thought, because I really don't want to block too much of the paper. Actually, I will put the watering can there, maybe. So let's put these two little pieces on. And, whoops. Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to have to use liquid glue. Where's my tweezers? Because otherwise, they're gonna stick up too high. husband's phone is going off non-stop over here. It's driving me crazy. Just going to put those like that. All right. I can use these things on the inside maybe. I just, like I said, wasn't sure how everything was going to go, and I really don't want to. I mean, I can put it there, but I'm blocking too much. I'm blocking too much. I don't want to block it. All right, let's do the inside, because I'm getting flustered with the outside. Just make sure I'm putting this the right way. And then I'll do the sentiment for the outside. I know I have my sentiment here. All right. Okay, I have just the hello for the inside, and of course I forgot to pull my ink out. I'm going to stamp it in Orchid Oasis. The ink off the top. And I'm going to stamp it up a little higher so I have room to write. And we're going to really hope we get this straight. That looks pretty straight to me. And then I have the basket of flowers that I was going to stamp on the bottom. That part I had planned out. So this is the only thing I have to color live. Again, I wasn't sure what I was going to use, so I was just stamping all the parts. And unfortunately, I can't put my wheelbarrow on the inside because it's not big enough. All right, so we're going to stick to the same colors that I used, which I used the Granny Apple Green on part of the leaves, just as a highlight. And then I use the Lemon Lime Twist for the other part of the leaves. And these are colored, like I said, these are the colors. I looked at the back of the paper, and these are the colors in the paper. So I was trying to stick with some of the same colors. And then I used the light Melon Mambo. I used light, I used dark, I was using all different colors. Okay. This is Bubble Bath. These were the colors that I used on the wheelbarrow. So I'm just sticking with the same ones. Keep that color, and then I'm just going to use in between. I don't know if there's flowers in there, but I was saying there were. And I'm not, when I color tiny spots like this, I'm not really coloring, I'm just tapping. All right, and then I'm going to grab my crumb cake for the basket, which I did not use that on my wheelbarrow. I was sticking with the Orchid Oasis. I almost made a pink wheelbarrow because I thought that would look cute. So the larger area I do color. It's just these tiny areas. I go straight. So we have a little basket of flowers inside. Now I use my seal. I'm going to adhere this to the bubble bath mat. I was all set I was going to make a Christmas card today, but I'm having more fun playing with this set. And whenever I use white paper, I think I've mentioned this before, I like to rub it on the back because if there's any ink on my hands, guaranteed it'll end up on the, oh, that would not have been good. It'll end up on the white part. And we're just going to slip this right in here. And again, I'll give it a good little press on the back. And I'm going to do a sentiment for the front. And I have a piece that's way too big, but this is what the piece I wanted to, the color I wanted to use. And I didn't want to cut it down because I don't want to burn my fingers because I am using embossing powder. So I'm going to use my embossing buddy and just go over it so that hopefully the embossing powder will only stick to where I stamp. And I'm using Every Day is a Fresh Start. We're going to close that up. And I have my white embossing powder. Not bad. A couple. Okay, let's see how it. See, make sure we can read it after I use the heat tool. All right, and I have my heat tool. I'll turn it on in a second. It has two settings. One is for drying, so if you're doing something with watercolor and you're impatient like I can be, you would do it on one. And two is for the heat embossing, and I'm just going to set it off to the side a little bit till it gets hot. And I don't know about you, but this heat embossing never gets old to me. It was one of the first things I did when I started stamping. And I love just watching it turn. You want to be careful not to overheat because you can burn embossing powder. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to cut it out as soon as I find the dies. I had them out here, but I was throwing everything out of my way. I believe I'm using the Stylish Shape dies, and I'm going to use that one. Just give it a second to dry because hot embossing powder will smear. And here it is. I'm just going to use my Post-it note tape because I know going over to my die cutting machine it will move. And I'm just going to cut this out. I'll be right back. Oops. And I'm just going to pop this up on the front, and I'm going to put it, I'll put it right about there. It's going to be off a little bit, but when the card is flat, it'll be fine. So I'm mainly going to put dimensionals from here over. I want to move my finger so I don't forget where I'm putting them. And I'll just put this one little one in the middle. The little pieces that are on the end that aren't big enough for get them off. Yep. I'm gonna put this right about there. And it, see, it does fold flat for, obviously for to mail. And that's it with the card. It was really easy. I just have the envelope real quick. And what I'm going to do is I am going to use a panel of this, even though it was cut short. I'm just going to slide it down just a little bit. I can still use it. I'm still trying to see if I can use any of these other pieces. Okay, I'm missing a lot of comments going by right now. All right, so what I did is I just moved it down just a little bit. It's just to decorate the envelope flap a little. So what I'm going to do is I'll cut the side pieces off. And then I'm going to just trim the envelope flap to my 2 inches. So there's still plenty of glue for sealing it. Okay, and then the only thing I did forget, oh, I did, oops. Okay, it's my embellishments. We have these adhesive, I better keep them on here so you can see them. Adhesive back birds and dragonflies, and they're flat. So they don't add any bulk. When you want to mail this, you don't have to worry. I always put something, whether it's a piece of vellum or a piece of cardstock, something over my card so that they don't poke through. You don't have to do that with these. Just going to put a couple of the birds in the sky where I think they should be. And I think I'm going to put a dragonfly too. I'm going to put the dragonfly down by the flowers. Always in threes. Always decorate in threes. Everything's supposed to be odd numbers. And there you go. All the measurements, everything. Like I said, the proper measurements will be on my blog on Friday. My blog will go live at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. And I'll have the measurements, the directions, and a link to the video. But this video will stay up. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Don't forget to get your orders in. And also, if anybody is interested in joining, I'd love to have you on the team. There's never an obligation to sell. You can, most of our team, they are just hobby demonstrators. They just join to have the discount for themselves. Thank you, Patricia and Joan and Donna, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining, and I hope to see you next Wednesday, and I will probably be doing a Christmas card again next week. All right. Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.